What's up YouTube, it's Nejc Filipič here, and in this video I'm gonna show how I made my track called Hit That Note. Let's go! So that's the track. It's not that complicated, but I'm gonna explain you soon in this video. So I always start by making simple melody with normal FL keys. I don't use synthesizer because synthesizer make music better. I try to make the music itself be as good as possible using the piano. So when this sounds good, it's gonna sound even better when you use an actual synthesizer. So this is the core melody, as far as you can see right here. And go then up and up. It's a long, as far as you can see, it's really long melody. And we have some upper pianos, offbeat, and yeah, experiment with the bass line. It's go down and then back up. Different than usually. So let's go, right? So yeah, in the first one we have basic kick, just normal. I think I put two of them. That goes differently. Yeah, it's a high kick and a punch kick, so it's combined. Then I use that melody offbeat piano. Otherwise, some hats, offbeat hi-hat. I always start with some impact to start the music, and I put this aggregation. It's not that easy. I mean, it is easy when you see it like that, but look, just simple as that, going up and down all the time. So that's basically only the start, and I have some sort fast. This is called the strings. Yeah, so I like this pitch effect, and I just multiply it and paste it here. Okay, so basically only the melody, as far as you can see, it's no longer a piano. That's the start melody, and it's extremely quiet. When I was making this, in this section, it's 30, so let's go to the 30. I think I put a reverb, and I actually like completely lower the dry and put more wet to it. So you technically hear more reverb with actual original sound. And when you're listening, it's so quiet. But then I use this cutoff to and it goes up. So yeah, it makes different at the end. Otherwise we have kicks here that speed up. Of course I put a pitch effect, because I have two of them, I had to put double pitch. And the bass, actually that's a sub bass. When it comes to double the kick effect, I had to speed up because that's a side chain, as far as you can listen. And I have to speed it up because the kicks are speeded up. Yeah, so I have some experimenting with that. Otherwise it's just normal sweeps and so, and you get introduced into the melody and bass. As far as you can see, that's a normal sub bass. And that gets into the base of the melodies. So otherwise, when you get to this point, I put this uncool this reverse synth, and I put a lot of reverb. So it's cool introduction from the start kick into the actual melody. Otherwise we have some sort of plucked. I think I put doubled. Yeah, I put 2 octaves because it sounds better, I just don't know. Otherwise we have a cutoff going up, simple as that. That's actually the real cutoff. Then we have a violins in the background. That's a bass. And then you have here the violins. But the violins are slowly automated with cutoff. So it gets the atmosphere of starting. Now I put the bass introduction here. Yeah. And I lower it. Basically the pitch is lowered, but when it gets to the start of the actually excitement of melody, it goes up. Back to the, if you check out the value, it's 0.5, which is the normal state. So yeah, basically you can hear bass all the time, and then when it gets into the melody it starts with the normal pitch. That's simple as that. You have some synth, I think I created by myself. I didn't use any presets with silent. It's not that hard. I mean, when you never do this before, yeah, it's hard. But otherwise, you just load up this. Oh, actually, yeah, it's synth. It means that I made it. You put some vocals on. You go to part 5, just random some stuff. You tweak the buttons until it sounds good. So we have some cool effect. I'm not sure how to call it, but it's like a pipe. Anyway. Then you have the plugs stay the same. So you got a shaker. Actually, there are 3 of them, but they're completely off the beat as far as you can see. So you get like actual shakers when you shake it. Then you have effects to the start, normal effects. Not that complicated. The bass actually, when I said at the beginning, when it becomes the base of the melody. So yeah, actually, if you extend this, you can see that this bass is actually the same note, and I just remove it because you would hear that there is a new one. So I just move it like that, simple as that. Then you have snaps. Those are actually good sounding snaps. I put a lot of reverb. I'm not sure exactly what I actually put. So how we do this, I will check out where they are. They're at 20. They're here. So let's listen on this. So when I EQ, usually first off I correct the volume because they're completely different sounds, completely different volume. And always depends what am I EQing. If I EQ the kick, I'm gonna put more bass. If I EQ the hi-hats, I'm gonna put higher. The snaps are basically right here at this point, and it's just expose them in this area. Otherwise I still use fruity reverb. Some people use Wahala Room, something like that. I use the fruity reverb, put some wet up, and that's it basically for me. And at the end I correct the volume, because after putting the EQ you uplift specific frequencies, which means that you're gonna sound louder, but only this part, but that doesn't matter, it's still louder than before. So in my case it still wasn't enough, I still boosted up for 1.2 decibels. But let's go back. So that's actually how I EQ. I mean, if you're actually curious, let's see how I EQ this. That's at 8. Let's go to the 8 and let's solo this. So we have an EQ. So because of melody, I don't like to have bass in the melody. So remove the bass and uplift or whatever it's called. I increase the frequencies at the high point. At the bass I did completely reversed. So yeah, now let's put all of them together. That's just IQ trick. So we have here, we're getting closer to the drop. I put some claps, they're already preset, which I don't like. I usually like to make everything by myself. And this is at track 9, so let's just check out the cue for track 9. Yeah, I actually removed the reverb, looks like it was not good enough. So the fruity balance didn't affect me, otherwise I put this one. That's 9. That's for the drop clap, so let's go forward. We have this higher melody, which I used before at the beginning. Otherwise, from time to time, I use this cymbal to make cool effects. So if you listen with the melody, it's actually really cool. It's like introduction into some opera, but alright, we have shakers, we have the claps, and I added offbeat hit heads. Simple as that, nothing special. When it comes to build up, I put a and the pitch, of course, and when it gets closer to the drop, it just double the speed and double it again. Otherwise we have some riser, which is just normal riser, nothing special here. It goes up, and you have a pitch, of course. So yeah, even from the bass, from the actually melody, I forgot to say that I added the Nexus bass at the same time that claps are introduced. So I did something special here in the bass line. The bass is the same, the notes are the same, but when you get to the EQ, I put Shaper Box, which is actually the sidechain plugin, way better than EQ Romero kick, because you can control each individual point, as far as you can see. I actually put the legend 1 of 8, which is half the speed of the kick. It just worked good. Yeah, you get it with time. So let's go forward, and I have the high violins. Like I said at the beginning, I use this a lot. Perfect as that. Now let's go forward, and we have a lot of sweep subs, and the snares I always like to do them myself. I think there's some reverb, but EQ. So yeah, it's actually, I don't use the pattern, I mean I do use pattern, but I don't use the pattern interface. I use the piano roll, because you can increase amount of how lower it gets, because here you have like limit 4 per beat. If you want to do faster, you have to do. Otherwise, I change this. That's the resample. Okay, that's normal. But yeah, I use the pitch for lifting up. So let's go back. Now, drop is a bit different. Basically, I spend the most time of drop. I think the melody was the first time, and then the drop. So yeah, that's just a percussions. At 18, let's see what I actually put inside. First is the EQ, of course. No idea what I was doing here. Possibly I was trying to make it better. Then we have the balance. And we have reverb. Now the trick is that I put Shaper Box after the reverb, because you can still hear the reverb is sidechain. You can still hear or see the wave in this visual representation, but it's cool. So basically, if you look closely, the kick is, oh yeah, I have to enable back. That's exactly the same that I used at the beginning in the intro of the song. And each time, I think each second one, is this cool effects. Those are cinematic, I think, already loops created. They're so quiet when you have the drop. You don't even hear them, but it makes some good atmosphere. Otherwise, the drop was easy, but yet hard. So I use the two massives. I search in the browser section. I think I go to the lead and then huge leads, and we have aggressor, which is this one. The second one is just a sub effect. If you listen, and that's actually the main lead. It sounds terrific. Let me see which one we got. 25, 26. Let's go. So yeah, it's a lot. So let's go one by one. First is the fruity balancer. Then we have the that's a distortion. And one more. So this one I like because you can customize it by just right clicking. So yeah, it's cool. Then you have some EQ to, where is it? Right here. So the high frequencies was way off. So just remove them. I think, yeah, I'm gonna maybe don't do this, but you can see where it goes. Then you have a shaper box, reverb, and balance again. So let's put them more back. And yeah, the melody is not actually that complete, it's just one line. So we have one normal, then dot, one normal, then dot, normal dot, and then just go up. So when you combined it with kick, yeah, I had to add pitch, because without pitch it was boring. Then we add the pitch. So yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Then these small percussions, I decided to make without kick, the last few. Yeah, so I just doubled the speed of them and put a pitch up, so we got cool effect, cool uplifting effect. And the sidechain and a reverb is so cool together. Otherwise it's just some melodic part. Yeah, so the first drop is just like normal effects. Yeah, so we're at the half of the music, let's go forward. Then you got shakers with volume back up. And I added this one, then just I think normal snare. I think that's this one. So I added the EQ, of course, I removed the low frequencies, I put a limiter, looks like it was okay. Then I put this one, I had problem with this one because you have to, I think it's 0.25, it's exactly on the beat, so it's slowly fading away. So just increase this two and put reverb on top of it to have delay with reverb together. So the shaker comes up, so add this one. So the people who listen know where there's a new section. Without this, you get lost in the bass line. So yeah, I use this a lot. It's like you know that the new part is coming soon when you listen to this effect. It's exactly one beat away from the explosion. So we instantly go to the clap part. We have this high top melody, hit-hats, offbeat, we have the main melody, we have the melody, snaps, shakers, and the bass. And the next part is with kick. Anti-X Nexus bass, which is exactly the same as the start. Seems good to me at this for now. So let's go forward then. If you listen to this too, I put this on one octave down, so you hear the difference and you don't believe it's continue. And we have this for the build up, and if you add cutoff, just normal build up. So at the second build up I added these percussions. Easy. And we have snares as before, it's just copy pasted. So by the way, one cool tip, if you don't know how it sounds, you can change a mode to scratch. Now resample, when you add pitch to it like I did here, will change the legend of the music, of the sound. But if you put a scratch, even if you go high pitch, it will be as long as before. But in this case, when I go up, the snares are getting shorter. So I added this cool effect that's like I don't know what, maybe it sounds good together, but and when it comes to the second part of build up, you just split it in half. And yeah, basically at the end, I use this cool Not sure if it's here, but the pitch goes down, so it's easy to listen. And that's the second drop. Now the second drop, I think it's better for my personal opinion, the first one. Now what's happening here, the percussions are same, but the pitch is slowly going down. And I had to remove the sidechain here. Yeah. And the clap is just for additional. So basically, let's see the melody. The melody is simple as that. Let's go. Sounds good, right? But I guess. So I added some sort of pitch, so it goes up from time to time. So yeah, let's listen. Yeah, so basically that's like the drop. So in this part, it still sounds like I'm using the inverted pitch, because here go up, but instead it's actually melodically created. But it sounds, it's good combo in this huge snare, so. And here I just doubled this. So yeah, it gets good effect. So the second drop, it's continued, but I add clap from time to time. And added the hi-hats, so the hats with a lot of reverb. So this is the same drop without the pitch, and the violins, pitch of the violins is going up. And then we have the split. So it's exactly the same as before, just that this drop melody going down. We have cutoff going down too. We have like piano here, which is the start of the melody. And the tones are normal. You listen like that. Yeah, they're just normal tones. The arp is back. And the double beat as at the beginning of the this. So reverse synth just make everything cooler. So that's kind of it. If you ask me what was the most difficult thing, I always have troubles with melodies, so let's go back to the melody. So when I start the project, I'll create the FL Keys plugin, open this up 128 and start drawing notes until they sound good. So sometimes it's complex, sometimes it's easy. And then all combined, you just select specific parts of the melody and put them together. But let's go to the master, which is the most important. So the first is the balance. If you listen without, these go way above it's supposed to, and I use the first balance to lower, dramatically low, even below -3. Then I use the EQ, and the next one. And the next one, until it sounds good. You can use 10 of them, and when you have final product, you use one more balance to equalize it, to put at the level that you want. In my case, it's below 0, but check out this. Through try and track, it literally hits the 0 all the time. You need to have a lot of skills. Some people, when they music, they go from loud to completely quiet and back to loud. but I try to make through entire track, even when you go to the drop part. Let's see. See, it goes around 0. Of course the drop is a bit louder, but all entire music it have to hit the 0 if it's not good. Some people use limiter, I try to do more professional way by using EQ, but the most important when you're making music, you have to already have in future idea how will it sound at the end, and trying to keep that at the same volume. In this case I use the same kicks and say sub bass, but surprisingly the drop sounds louder. But it truly is the same, it's like 0.5 louder, but that's okay. So that's how this track is done. That was completely me. Otherwise what I used sounds of KSHMR volume 3. I even bought Vengeance, but I try to do only using this one because it has like one shots. It's cool sound pack. For the synthesizers I use a Nexus 3, which is right here. It's completely cool. We have some MD35, some stuff like that. Otherwise it's Silent One, that's the best one, I think so. You can make everything from there. That's basically it. I use the Massive for the drop. Where it is, let me find it. Drop right here. So the Massive, there's new Massive called Massive X. I thought about buying it, I'm not sure yet. That's it for the plugins. Let's go to the plugins for EQ. The only thing that I bought is Shaper Box, cool plugin. Now the Shaper Box allows you to have multiple effects at once, but each one is priced. So I only bought the volume one, which is the one of the best sidechain. You have like shortcuts here, you have trimming, or literally you can draw the lines for yourself, you can select the speed, stuff like that. Otherwise I don't think I used anyone. I used reverb from the Fruity, which is normally inside. Otherwise that's basically kinda only VST for effect that is not synthesizer. So yeah, that's combined. Hope you enjoyed this tutorial, or it's not exactly tutorial. My name is Nejc Filipič, guys, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.